seeing how others used it, and that encouraged me and then helped me encourage others. Well, if they can do it, we can do it.
Hello and welcome to interview number 30 of Whatever. And today we have another special guest, a dear friend, Barbie Trapp. How are you today, Barbie?
I'm doing wonderful, and I know you are too.
Thank you. So Barbie, where do you live?
I live in Lawrenceville, New Jersey.
And is that where you're from?
No, I'm from Illinois and then moved and lived in Texas, Arizona, and Missouri before moving here in June of 2019.
Awesome. And what do you do?
I'm a Christian Science practitioner.
Of course you are. That's must be a very rewarding job.
It is. It is very
And Barbie, did you grow up in a Sunday school or did you come to science later in life?
I grew up in the Sunday school. I've been attending church since I was 2 days old.
Okay, that's great. And we know a lot of people go through our Sunday schools and sometimes they don't necessarily think that they're sticking with it. How did you make Christian Science your own?
Well, I knew by the time I was 16 that I was never going to give up Christian Science, that I was here because of God and all that I learned in Christian Science, and knew that it was just a precious gift to have this understanding and all that we learn, and we learn more and more every day.
And I know you're a very dedicated and consistent scientist. Can you tell our subscribers the progression of how you studied your lesson and things like that?
Yeah, we went to Boston when I was 10 and we got to see the Mother Church, and I was so excited to be there in the Sunday school, which was huge. And I immediately wanted to be a member when I found out I could be a member of the church, but disappointed that I had to wait till I was 12. And I also wanted to join the branch church, but again, I had to wait till I was 12. And in the branch church, I was excited to start ushering and to help in the nursery and to count money on Sunday and actually go to business meetings. And so the day I turned 12, I mailed in my membership application to the Mother Church, and the next day was Sunday, so I turned it into the branch church and was accepted by both.
Wonderful. And then when did you start reading your Bible lesson?
When I was 9, I started reading it on a very regular basis, a lot of times with my parents. And then when I was 10, after they saw my dedication to reading the lesson and loving to help mark the books, they gave me my own set of those blue little leather books for the students. And I just thought that was wonderful. Then we sat at the kitchen table every Sunday after church and lunch, and we marked our books together. And as I read, I figured out that I didn't know all these big words. There's too many big words. So I had to have my dictionary beside me and would read the Bible and our textbook. And I could only read one section a day because looking up those words took so much time.
Right.
I got so much out of it. If I tried to get it all in without looking up the words and without the understanding, it just was words. And so I did that until high school. Then I started doing 2 sections a day. And then in college, I did 3 sections a day. And after college, I started reading the whole thing, but still with that dictionary so I could look up those words, because there's so many big words. And I still look up even familiar words to see if there's more meanings so that I can even dig deeper.
So with that consistent, dedicated work that you put in over the years, I'm sure you witnessed a lot of healings and demonstrations of harmony and things like that.
I did. And when I was 20, I was not happy that I call it getting kicked out of Sunday school, because when you turn 20, you
Right.
no longer can be a student in the Sunday school. And I was like, no, this can't be. I'm just now getting the hang of how to heal. And when I told my dad how upset I was, he said I could take class instruction and let me know that our family practitioner was a teacher. So I immediately called her up and asked if I could be in her class, and she said yes. So I was so happy to take that 2-week course and felt it was the best 2 weeks of my life. I just learned so much. And all I wanted to do since being in Sunday school was to heal like Jesus and Mary Baker Eddy did.
That's awesome. So I guess we could probably guess the answer to this question, but so why are you a Christian Scientist, Barbie?
I love helping people and making others happy, seeing them be happy when they have their demonstrations and healings. It just brings so much joy. And I love, of course, my own healings. And I just wonder sometimes how people do without it, because I wouldn't be here without it. And
Yeah,
I'm
fair
so
point.
grateful for everything I have because of all I've learned about God and how he loves us.
So now we're coming to my favorite part of the interview, where people talk about their whatevers and how things that they do to help them grow and learn more. And I know you have a diverse set of interests, but I think the whatever that we focused on for today is the fact that you, Barbie, really are a shepherd. You really love your family and your friends and your practice and everyone that comes into your orbit of thought. So tell me, how do you go about that? What do you do to really just shepherd those around you?
Well, I do. I love my family. I love seeing everybody be happy. And I like learning from others when they share. My favorite, ever since I was little, was going to the Wednesday night testimony meetings and reading in the periodicals the testimonies, or when they had children's articles. I just loved seeing how others used it, and that encouraged me and then helped me encourage others. Well, if they can do it, we can do it. Or my dad used to tell me, what's true for one is true for all. And so if you want to, be seen correctly, see others correctly. And that reminds me of something that was shared recently. They called it the silver rule. And they said, speak to others as you would have them speak to you. And of course, that's like the golden rule in the
Right.
Bible. But about 10 years ago, someone shared the diamond rule, which is think about others as you would have them think about you.
That's awesome.
And while having my own healing and praying, one day the angel message came, see others as you would have them see you.
Yeah,
And I had a quick healing, and I call it God's rule, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be seeing everyone as God made them.
that's
And
true.
that's, most of the healings in the Bible are about blindness or sight.
Right.
So I think that's why I called it God's rule.
That's awesome. Well, you've answered all my questions. This has been an amazing interview. Is there anything, what would you like to tell our subscribers before I let you go?
Well, there's two things. One is, the other time I feel I grew the most was when I was asked to speak at our association in 2020. That, preparation for that, there was so much growth and inspiration, similar to the 2 weeks of class instruction. But there was also a healing. The one that sticks out the most to me, and it was the quickest healing I ever witnessed, was when our youngest was 4. He was trying to learn how to ride his bike without training wheels. And so he was practicing before lunch, and after lunch, he ran outside, hopped on his bike, but he forgot his helmet. So I was telling him to come back and get his helmet, and he was being obedient and coming back. And the neighbor little boy came out all excited that he was back out there, and got too close on his bike to our son, and our son's pedal got caught in the spoke of the neighbor's bike, and it just flipped him head first into the pavement. And immediately I declared there are no accidents in God's kingdom. And I went over, and as he looked up at me, he said, help, I'm bleeding, bloody murder. And I just burst out laughing. And that, of course, got rid of all the fear and the mesmerism immediately. And I scooped him up and I said, oh, honey, you're not murdered. You are alive and well. And as I walked in with him, carrying him to clean him up, I said the Lord's Prayer. And then as we were cleaning him up, I said the scientific statement of being. And by the time I finished cleaning him up and saying that prayer, I couldn't find any spot where that blood had come from. There was no hole, there was no, slit or anything. And there was just a slight bump on his forehead. And he said he was a little tired, so he took a quick little nap. And afterwards he said, I want to go ride my bike again. And he got up and he said, but with my helmet. And he on and went out, and from then on rode without training wheels, and was so excited when his dad came home to tell him, I can do it without training wheels. So, but that was just so quick. Within less than 10 minutes, there was no evidence of an accident. And so that is just one demonstration of the many, many, many I have witnessed of God's healing power and presence in our lives today.
That's awesome. Well, Barbie, thanks again for joining us, and you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Oh, you too. Thanks for having me. It's been a privilege.